Welcome to Rollin' with Mike, podcast on wheels. My name is Mike Wilson, aka Rollin' Mike, your host. I am a writer, speaker, and disability coach, and author of a book titled Return from the Edge. 31 years ago, I was injured in a life-altering motor vehicle accident that left me as a quadriplegic. This is my story. Today, on the Rollin' with Mike podcast on wheels show, I have a individual who I've watched grow up over the last 4 years playing sports, not only football, but basketball. His name's Corey Sims. He's a running back for J.W. Mitchell Mustangs. Starting out, Corey, basically just kind of start from the beginning.
I started playing actual tackle football at like around 6, but the love for the game came around like 3. I've always wanted to play football. When I was younger, actually, I had this little Redskins helmet. I would always wear it. I would like never take it off. And I would walk around the house, walk around stores. I would always want that on. And I also had a Redskins jersey that I kept on all the time. So the love for football just came as like I got older, I guess. When I was about 3 years old, I just fell in love with it. And I was always wanting to hit things. So I had a little car, and I would put it out, and my dad would say, down, set, hike. And I would take the ball, and I would run through it like I was running the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing up, they had these blow-up air things.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still make them where you can punch it, or
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they have those nowadays or not. But before you moved here, you were in Maryland.
Yeah, I was
correct?
in Maryland for like 3 years, and then I moved down here, and I've been here for the rest of my life.
That's what I was thinking. So the Redskins, but everybody knows Joe Theismann. So,
Yeah.
hey, when you think Redskins football, Super Bowl, and you got to think about this when he broke his leg. I'm sure you've seen that play, or your dad maybe has shown it to you or whatever. Man, that was a horrible break. Unbelievable. You moved here in the area. You moved here in Trinity, right?
No, so I actually moved to Palm Harbor, like Newport Richey area, and I lived in a apartment for a few years, and then we moved to Foxwood over in Trinity.
So what age did you start with the Trinity Mustangs?
6. It was actually a year after Caden started. I started at 6, and I started at Mustangs.
I think you and Bryce both started the year after he started.
Yeah.
When did you start to understand the game of football a little bit better? Third grade, fourth grade?
Probably like 5th grade.
Yeah.
When I like actually started to understand like the concept of the game, and I understood that there was more than just running around the outside and going to the end zone. That was probably when I realized more about the game.
What, in the relationships you built, are there any certain coaches that stand out? I know DJ's been along the way, but other coaches, there's been several other coaches I know that you've had.
Yeah, well, DJ's probably the main one. I'll like explain about him in a little bit. But when I first started playing football, it was actually Coach Allen and Coach Lee. And I didn't really have that good of a relationship with Coach Allen, honestly. But Coach Lee, I had a pretty close relationship with. Like, we would go to the games, and before the games, we would play Pokemon Go, and that was a thing back then. And like, we would hang out and just talk, and yeah, that was good. DJ, I've known for basically my whole life. Like, when I moved down here, I started playing football, and when I became friends with Caden, then I met DJ, and when DJ started coaching me, that's just when football like took off. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I know he's played a very big, been instrumental in a lot of the kids. So strength and conditioning is a big thing. Where do you go? Do you have a certain place that you go and train, whether in the off season?
Yeah, so I've been around a few places. I've been to Stubbo. Do you know Coach Stubbo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over at River Ridge, but I used to train with him. That was like my first trainer, and then I moved to the field house over in Trinity with Coach Elijah, and I worked with him actually like 8th grade off season, 9th grade off season, and he's got me really good.
I'll hear my brothers say or post that they were at the field house, or Luke say that or whatever, and I'm like, man, they don't even give me a heads up to let me know, because I've never been over to the field house. I'd like to just come and watch, because myself still, even though I'm live with a disability, and I have for 31 years due to a motor vehicle accident that left me quadriplegia, I've still got that competitiveness in it. I still work out at Impact Fitness up in Lutz, so I'm always grinding, pushing myself to be the best version of myself that I could be. My competition isn't against others; it's against myself, and continue to live. My goal is to gain greater independence. So my question for you is, what are some of the goals that you have when you're off season, when you're training anything?
At the field house, we do a lot of speed and agility, and then we weight lift there. And honestly, the speed and agility stuff has been really helpful, because when you're running the ball and you get like a 60-yard run, say, and then you got to go down there and get the touchdown, it can be really tiring. So the speed and agility has helped me gain lots of endurance so that I don't get tired during those times. And the weightlifting has been able to push me through like the hard hits and stuff that I've had to face while running the ball. And it's honestly been a key to my season so far. I'm like stronger than a lot of people, so I feel like that's been really helpful.
That strength and conditioning, even during the season, it's a different type of strength and conditioning that you do, because number one, you're not depending on. It's not like basketball though, where you got to watch what you're doing with lifting and things like that. What techniques have you been able to master during this season? What have you worked on in any type of? Are you still lifting any, or is that mainly speed and agility?
Yeah, so I go to the weight room every week, 3 times a week at actually Mitchell. They open the weight room and I go there 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And I don't do heavy lifting. I just do like small, like lower body, upper body type of things, like curls. And I don't do a lot of sets of them because I tend to get really sore and tight easily. So I try to keep it pretty low. And during this off season, I actually worked with a coach at the field house, and it was a running back coach, and he taught me the jump cut. You've probably seen that at some of my games, and I've mastered that, and I've used that many times this season, and it's helped me break away for a touchdown or get a big play.
I've noticed that you've gotten better at your vision, your on-field vision, and seeing something. I've noticed from a distance that you've gotten better with that.
Yeah, me and my line this year have grown a pretty good relationship, and vision-wise, I say people have said that my vision's always been pretty good, but this year it's been really like outstanding. And every time I run the ball, I look for where I'm running. Like there's A, B, C, the gaps, and I look for where the blocking is going to go, and I look for the holes, like predetermine them. And that's helped me like go through, and I see the holes before I even get there. So that's helped me a lot this season.
What level of trust are the coaches allowing you to extend your own your own vision to say, hey coach, man, I see this and this. Now, if they trust in you running it and it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it may work, and boom, you just got a 20-yard gain or 12-yard gain or whatever. What's that been like?
So the Coach Smits, that's the head coach, he has a lot of trust in us. He knows that he has a pretty good group, like the line, the quarterback, our wide receivers, all of us. He puts a lot of trust in us to change plays and make our own audibles and stuff like that. And when it does not work, he just goes back to doing what he's doing. He doesn't stop letting us call those audibles because sometimes it won't work and it's not really our fault. So he has gained a lot of trust and he lets us do that type of stuff.
Well, that's, I think, part of a player-coach relationship is, growing together. The coaches are mentoring. Coaches coach, players play.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can write out all the X's and O's that you want to, but you got to execute. As the season is on, I've seen you do. I wasn't there. Obviously, they played up at the Villages, and you all beat them pretty well. And you set the school record with 296 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
And 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Describe what that feeling. You've had some great games.
Yeah.
Describe a couple of the feelings that you have with that, and that goes without saying. That line, is the line.
Yeah.
You would not be there without that. Without your offensive line.
Yeah. So during that game, I could feel that I was going to break the record because I had already had a few good runs, like 60, 70 yards. So I was getting pretty antsy during the game, and I was like excited. I was wanting to keep playing, but unfortunately they took me out in the fourth quarter, but I still broke the record. And after the game, I was super excited. Couldn't wait for Coach Smits to put in the stats because I don't actually know for sure what my stats are until he puts them into Max Preps. Yeah. So when I got home, I went to bed, and when I woke up and he had put them in, I jumped out of bed. I got so excited. I went and told my mom and dad right away, told them that I broke the record. I went on social media. I went on Snapchat. I told the little group chat we have, I told the line, I said, broke the record, and I put at the fist because that's what we call them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because you all have to take pride and ownership in that because, there's no I in team. It's a team sport. Kobe Bryant told Shaq, though, one day when he said that, and he said, yeah, but there's an M-E, mother.
Yeah.
But that being a side, there is no I in team. What about new players that have come into the system? What's that like when you get a new player?
When we get new players, we try to make them feel like family so that they can perform their best. It's basically like, as you said, team has no I, it's me. So we try to build them into the family that we have at Mitchell, and that's helped us be able to produce better players because we come together, work together, push them to as hard as they can work, and that's helped, for example, RJ grow to where he's at now. And we just got a transfer from Sickles. His name's Bishop, the safety. We just got him, and we made him feel like family as soon as he got there, and he's been doing pretty good, very helpful.
If you recall, a couple of years ago at the end of the season, we talked to you all about intangibles, invariables, moving forward with colleges, your dreams and aspirations. I'd like to know a little bit about those.
So, everyone's dream is to make it to the NFL, but, there's a pretty slim chance that there's like a 0.00001% chance. So I try to just play to my best ability every game. I don't really think about that type of stuff. I just played it because I love it. And as I'm getting older, I've kind of decided that I want to go play D1 or college football. So honestly, whatever school offers me a scholarship and shows me the best love and appreciation, and I feel like I can play the best that I can there, and I'll fit there. I've always loved FSU, and so if I got an offer from FSU, I'd probably just commit right then and there. But yeah, it kind of depends on as you were saying,
FSU.
yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
What if we get you on in Morgantown? All right, go ahead.
Like being coachable and stuff like that. I actually went to a camp up there this summer, and their coach Norvell, he's a really good coach. I like him, and I feel like I could fit their roster pretty good. So that would be my dream, to go up there and play in Tallahassee. But major-wise, I wanted to do real estate or be an entrepreneur. I like to own my own things.
You're going to lose most of the offensive line. Cadence said they were mainly all seniors.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge, huge adjustment for you guys moving forward. And what kind of line do you have coming up? I mean, maybe answer those questions.
I feel like once those seniors all leave, we'll be fine, because during the off season we'll all get together, we'll grow a relationship, we'll be able to go and work out in the weight room, do the summer practices and stuff like that, and that will help grow our relationship with them. And they're not that bad, they're just not the same as this year's line. You know, like I feel like this year's line, they all have like sort of chemistry. They're all best friends. They don't just hang out at football. They go and hang out of school and stuff like that. I don't know so much about the JV line that's coming up next year, but we should be fine with whatever happens.
I was mentioning it to Caden, being a leader, you're the running back, you're in a skill position, you need your offensive line. Definitely, y'all need to develop from what I see, there needs to be a little more development with the wide receivers. And a lot of that's off-field training.
There's got to be a leader on the team for them to be successful. So I say me, Caden, and Bryce are probably the top three. We lead the team to success this year. Caden, honestly, he's more of the main one. He does more of the speaking and stuff like that. I'm kind of quiet, I guess you would say. So he does more of that, and without him, we would be horrible. I don't know. Like he keeps everyone together. When we're having a bad practice, he makes sure that we get it together. We fix what we're doing wrong. All the stuff that a good team needs in order to produce on a Friday. And so during the games, some of the kids might hang their heads or they might do something bad. So me, Caden, and Bryce, we try to bring them all together and talk them through it, make sure that they're fine, and tell them that it'll be okay, because it could be the second quarter. It's not the end of the game yet.
Yeah, and it's and some people lead by example.
Yeah. So
they see you putting in the hard work. Maybe they'll do that, or joke with them. Just, oh man, your mom would be so embarrassed of you when you're in the weight room. You can't even lift this weight. You don't even want to put in the time. I want to thank you for being here, Corey. It's meant a lot to me. I've enjoyed watching you grow over the last 3 or 4 years. Being here, thank you for your friendship, your trust in me. I wanted to do this to kind of get you used to being in front of a microphone. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for having me.